Anyway, Iran x Israel updates. Will the conflict broaden after Iranian retaliation? What else was I? Dude, there's so much to cover and I keep forgetting. Shohei Ohtani innocent. Israel not letting in aid. Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani innocent. And more. Walking Dead season 1 episode 4 later. Get in now. İran'la savaş var mı? Not yet. Yok şu anda ama olabilir yani. Bakalım, bilmiyoruz. Bekliyoruz şu anda. Did you see the LA Crystal Mommy that went bashing over the eclipse? I fucking heard about it. It's crazy. İran kaşınıyor. Ulan İran mı kaşınıyor? İsrail mi kaşınıyor amına koyayım? İsrail kaşınıyor, İran kaşıyor. Ya da daha doğrusu kaşıyacağım diyor. Daha ne yapsınlar oğlum, adamlar da yani. Türkler böyle laflar ediyorlar da İsrail Mavi Marmara'yı yaptığı zaman veyahut da sizin bir tane konsolosluğa gömse, Türkleri öldürse kafayı yersiniz. Tabii ki de. Yani ne yapsın adamlar? Herkese vuruyor amına koduklarım. Herkese vuruyorlar, hiç acımıyorlar. Birisi dönüp de geri vuracak şimdi. Kaşınan bir adam varsa İran değil, İsrail kaşınan bir adam varsa. Hem kaşınıyorlar hem de aynı zamanda da soykırım yapıyorlar yani. Yes bro, I know. Wisdom did the Dune outfits, okay?
Style.
I saw, bro. I love Wisdom. Y'all don't have to fucking send it to me like it's a goddamn, like it's like the latest Johnny Harris video or some shit. My friend got $1,000 tip at a barista job because the lady believed the rapture was coming and then called to complain and get it removed because it didn't happen. That's awesome. I don't know what was more wild, the Thai cowboy hip hop music, the woman dancing at the front of the Confederate flag on a teepee in the background. What? Bro, this feels like they hit the randomizer on like American culture, you know what I mean? This like, it just like doesn't make a lot of sense. Like they just looked at American culture with the fucking broad scope and hit the random button. They were like, fuck it, we ball, we got it all, we're gonna do all of it. It's like when you're asked when you are asked personally, dude, you're a 20-month subscriber, bro. You're so fucking annoying. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Like how do these dumb fucks come in here? Like take the goddamn day off, okay? It's just so frustrating. Anyway, as I was saying, this looks like they hit the fucking randomizer on all of the American culture. You know what I mean? Oh my God, there's a Confederate flag on a teepee in the background. Oh my God, the chatter was not lying when he said this shit's crazy. By the way, this ain't even rap. Like the first lady was rapping, but this is more ska than it is rap. I swear to God. Like it's ska, bro. This is ska music. They're dressed up in cowboy attire. The first lady was rapping, but it's definitely ska. And they're dressed up in this like weird Western attire, and they're dancing in front of a fucking teepee with the American flag on it and the Confederate flag on it. What is happening here? This is honestly me though. This is like Hassan, what do you like about American culture? Oh, all of it. This is it. It's like Nazi memorabilia cafes in Japan. They just think it looks cool. Yeah, well, the Japanese can't advocate for the ignorance. That's cumbia. It sounds like ska. Anyway, they can't. The Japanese can't exactly say that they are ignorant to what the Germans were up to, considering that they were aligned with them. You know what I mean? And no, I don't think this is cumbia. I think this is ska. This seems more like ska than anything else. It's kind of like America's wearing Red Sun headbands. That is a perfect analogy. That is analogous. Yes. I think like Thai people dancing in front of a Confederate flag teepee is identical to America's wearing the Red Sun headband for sure. Or like getting tattoos with like the stripes. You know what I mean? By the way, it is kind of fucked up. It is kind of fucked up, honestly, that the Japanese kind of ruined that whole aesthetic, because it honestly is fire. Like it is the whole like the whole the lines like that. Like this is a phenomenal aesthetic. It just goes hard. It straight up goes hard, and it is really fucked up that they just like took that and ruined it. You know what I mean? The rising sun goes hard, man, but why the fuck did they have to be imperialists? Yeah. Clipped and shipped. I mean, what do you mean? I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you that it's bad. What does it mean though? It just means like it's the red disc, 16 red rays emanating from the disc, like the Japanese national flag, the rising sun flag symbolizes the sun. It was originally used by feudal warlords in the Edo period. And then, as a policy of the Meiji government, it was adopted as a war flag of the Imperial Japanese Army. And then it was adopted as a naval ensign of the Imperial Japanese Army. So to like everyone in the region, it spells horrific rapes. It means just like a shit ton of death and destruction. You know what I mean? Because like, these guys were the Nazi Germany of the region, okay? They did Nazi Germany shit specifically to China, you know what I mean? Like, and Korea as well, and the Philippines. Like, they were really bad. As much as I am a fucking weeb, and I talk to you guys about how much I love Japan all the time, this emblem is like the swastika, but for that region. The difference, however, is that Germany acknowledged their crimes, even though they put Nazis back into positions of power. Shouts out to the United States of America for that one. In Western Germany, holy fucking shit. Japan never really acknowledged their crimes at all. Also, shouts out to America. Japan actually didn't have to recognize their crimes at all. And still, they do not. So, yeah. But that's why, while the aesthetic is kind of hard, it's just like, it's not great. It's really bad. Like many other people, my other TikTok hold this week has been the Thai military conscription, where the fiercest divas you ever seen find out if they have to literally serve.
177นภัสกับ179นครินทร์คอย
Dude, Thailand is awesome. It is straight up the gayest place on the planet, I think. Oh my God. Friday scoop, by the way. And yes, it's Elon news. Megaphonics, what else is fucking new, big dog? Yeah. If you think like man goes to gay city, gets his ass beat for not twerking is a fake news story, it happens every day in Thailand. Okay. Thailand is gay city. Thailand is gay city where they beat your ass if you don't fucking serve. Okay? Straight up. I love them. I love Pinoy gang and I love Thailand. They're just like, I don't know what it is. They're just so like, Pinoy gang is also gay as hell, but like nowhere near as gay as Thailand, obviously. I don't know what it is. It's just, they're awesome. They're so sick.
179 ด
Pinoy Gang W or L? It's always a W.
A New York City fried chicken shop.
Let me tell you something, okay? Swagapino's on top, Swagapino rights, and Swagapino wrongs. Unconditionally.
Has replaced its cashier with a woman who zooms into work every day.
Wait, what?
Kind of a virtual cashier, kind of not at all a virtual cashier. This is what the cashier counter setup looks like. There's a cash register and an iPad that reads, "Welcome to my store." A bit to the left, there's a computer monitor where the cashier sits in a Zoom meeting with a virtual background of the store's logo. This is at San San Chicken in the East Village, right by New York University's main campus. And the best part about this setup is that the Zoom meeting ID and password are handwritten on a piece of paper taped to the back of the cash register and facing customers. What does a virtual cashier even do? Well, not much. She greets people, who, by the way, are also on a webcam, when they walk into the store and can take orders if it gets busy. But there's also a self-serve ordering kiosk where you can pick and then pay for your food, which gets handed to you from the kitchen behind this wall through this 2-foot wide window. I went to San San Chicken on Monday and asked the staff a couple of questions. A manager told me that as a business owner, it was useful and cost-effective to have a virtual cashier, who she said is contracted through a different company. The cashier told me that she was indeed in the Philippines, where it was 1:11 a.m. at the time, but said she couldn't answer any more questions about the company she worked for.
Bro, they outsourced the cashiers to the Philippines too? That's crazy. Mark Banson's coming for everyone, Hasanabi. I don't know if you've already seen it. Yeah, we have that ready to go. Today, my co-counsel Greg Adler and I filed a suit against Fox, Newsmax, Univision, Tim Cast, Steven Crowder, Owen Schroyer, Simon Ateba, and Hollywood Unlocked for falsely portraying our innocent client as a neo-Nazi mass shooter. Yep. We have the Huffington Post news story right here as well. We're going to talk about it. I tested it out at the Wegmans, and the woman helping us with it said they're from a company in Israel, so I shouted in Free Palestine. Wait, what? My Mexican OCD ass is going crazy. Can you pronounce cumbia correctly, please? Cumbia. What? Cumbia. What? Am I saying it wrong? What is going on? Ay, ay, ay, ay, ay, ay, ay. Cumbia? Kumbaya! Kumbaya, my lord! Okay, that's how I'm going to say it. The more you say it, the more racist it's going to get. The more annoyed you are at the way I'm saying it, the more I'm going to turn around and make it like I'm fucking Peggy Hill, okay? Kumbaya! Kumbaya? She come on my baya till I go, ay, ay, ay. God damn it. She coming on my bee till I go, ay, ay. All right. Anyway, here's more. Here we're doing the blast off. Iran-Israel updates with the conflict brought in after Iranian retaliation. Israel not letting in aid. Shohei Ohtani innocent and more. Walking Dead season 1 episode 4 later. Get excited for that, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be doing that in a little bit. You already know what it is. Have you seen the TikTok trend of the girls showing off their boyfriend's dick using their painted fingernails? Wait, what? What the fuck? Japan has a Yakuza ramen place? That's the least surprising thing I've ever heard in my entire life, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yakuza 8. I mean, like a Dragon 8. Can we just start a position and just change the name back, please? Thanks. I'm gonna be honest, and you guys have to promise not to hate me. I've never played the Yakuza games, but I don't make fun of you guys just...
Digha. Thank you for the 20 community gifted subs. Have you ever gotten a DEXA scan? No, but me and Nicewig are going to go get one. But I don't want to get one now because I feel fat. Because yesterday, my buddy that came over, I forgot to mention this. Yesterday, my buddy came over, and when he comes over, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll get you, coffee or food items from this, like, fuckboy place, the community goods or whatever, the super trendy place. And I wanted him to get a breakfast sandwich for Will, which he did. Turns out he accidentally got 2. Didn't realize there were 2. Let me tell you why I didn't realize there were 2 until I ended the stream and I sat at that kitchen counter and I had a moment of, I failed the QTE basically. I had a moment where I could have like pressed Q and spammed it super hard and then resisted the temptation, but I ate that shit cold and it was such a banger, dude. It was such a goddamn banger. Oh my lord, dude. I loved it so much. I ate it and I can't get the DEXA. I can't get the DEXA scan now because what is this? Do you guys like my new nails? Wait, what is this? What can I show this? I don't know what this is. Hassan, no. What is this? Is there cock in this? What the fuck? Was that a dick print? Yo, I can't do that. That's cock watch, man. Y'all are crazy, bro. Also, this isn't even like, the fuck is this? This is like user 83221 369 337 98. The fuck do you mean? Bro said it's Friday. Let's do cock watch. We can't be doing that, chatters. God damn, son. We only meet watch Drake once, and that's all we ever needed to do. Exactly. Hasanabi hasn't even seen the TikTok girl that freezes her husband's cum and uses it as a facial cream a few days later. Y'all lucky I have constraint. Dude, that was a OT-pay yeah, that was an over-the-pants hand job. That's crazy. We're not doing Cockwatch Friday. I will say this, though. China, on the way to become more and more Ameribu, store in China is selling giant versions of snack, including Oreos and ramen. Love that for them. Okay, love that for them. Also, another thing I saw is that, like, China has their own version of like Harlem Shake, basically. Like, they're in their Harlem Shake era. Online, they're doing their own Harlem Shake ass shit, which I love. Which means that we are gonna see some Chinese alt-right shit, whatever that is. New Hassan fan cam. Yeah, they're doing a biker shake.
I'm very
Oh, we watched this already. We watched this fan cam last night. New neurodivergent discourse dropped. I love that. Yeah, it's called the motorcycle trend dance. Chinese netizens, they have the motorcycle trend dance. Does anyone have that? Does anyone have a TikTok describing it? Here.
The motorcycle shake has gone viral in China, consisting of riding an imaginary motorcycle while stomping one's feet to the addictive rhythm.
Bro, this is my favorite genre of TikTok, okay? My favorite genre of TikTok is like a Chinese English teacher explaining whatever the fuck is the new meta on Chinese TikTok. Talking about Chinese netizens and what they're up to. I fucking love that, okay?
Dance is said to have been invented.
Yeah, they're doing cringe shit. They're doing cringe. They're now officially doing cringe.
By an elder of the Wa ethnic group in China's Yunnan province. These videos took Chinese social media by storm, with netizens commenting, "There has to be a V8 engine in his DNA. As I watched him dance, my feet started involuntarily tapping to the beat. How can..."
Also, like, the way they describe Chinese netizens seems so insane to me. Bro, why does everyone shit on China? It looks like they're all having such an awesome time. Bro, they're always having an awesome time. And, like, these accounts make it seem like Chinese netizens are the best on the planet, okay? They make it seem like Chinese people are using the internet in a very different way. Except for this. This is very cringe. Obviously, they're doing cringe. But, like, it is literally like they're always helpful. They're always having fun. Chinese netizens are doing a phenomenal job online, at least with the way that these accounts represent them. People immediately go, it's propaganda. But honestly, I don't care. Chinese medicine is the best. Take it from a Chinese Canadian. No, netizens. Fuck you mean this is cringe, dude? Yeah, I mean, of course it's cringe. It's a fucking viral dance move. Shut the fuck up.
When he does it, he looks cool. But when I try it...
I still don't understand what netizen refers to. A citizen on the internet, bro. What do you mean? A net citizen. A netizen. Isn't that what it is? It's not medicine. It's netizen. I'm not fucking 80, Hassan. This is my new favorite genre of chatter. Okay? A lot of you are ducks and not Clems, okay? A lot of you are ducks and not Clems, let me tell you. Bunch of duck chatters. And I don't mean that in like the HBO's special show Warrior sense. onion and duck. I don't know if any of you guys watch that show, but they duck refers to white people in that show. But the new meta in the chat always is like a 35-year-old typing like, I'm not as old as you are in the chat. Okay? It's like, bro, the things that I'm describing to you oftentimes you don't know about, not because you're young and have youthful exuberance, okay? Oh, I'm not as old as you are. It's like, dude typing it is literally older than me.
I look like a creepy thief. Now it's become a trend to do the motorcycle shake. College girls. Middle-aged men.
It means net and denizen. Okay, it could be. I thought it was citizen and net, but maybe it's den and netizen or denizen.
Aunties.
Net and denizen.
Macho males. And even pets, apparently. Though I have to say, the most passionate and spirited dancers are still the white people.
Anyway, they do such a fucking good job. Sam Harris pivots the Nazi apologia. Love that. Love that for him. Not shocking. We'll take a look at that as well. Eid in China looks so chill.
Assalamu alaikum. We are Chinese Muslim from China. This is how we celebrate the Eid.
First thing in the morning, go to pray Fajr. This is our mosque. It's quite big. This is the timetable for the 5 prayers. Breakfast with the date. Take a very deep
Dude, seeing Chinese Muslims seems so weird to me. It's like, it just, like, I know they exist, right? And we're not talking about Xinjiang. We're not talking about Uyghurs, okay? Which are Chinese Muslims as well. And they're in a whole separate category according to the Chinese government in the way that they fucking, did anti-terrorist, anti-separatist re-education, okay? But like, when I see like what is it, Hui? Yeah, when I see like other kinds of Chinese Muslims, it's just like, it just catches me off guard. I don't know how to describe it. Like I don't expect a dude with like a Chinese accent that just like straight up looks Chinese to just be like, Inshallah, brothers. I'm back. Hi. Once a day, boys. Once a day. It's gotta happen. Once a day, we gotta have this. We gotta have this little moment to ourselves. My download is 630. My upload is 40 right now. And it still happens. You know what I mean? I talk about Chinese Muslims and the mistreatment one freaking time, dude. One freaking time. I'm sorry, she. I apologize. Okay? I apologize for the disrespect I showed to the Hui Muslim population. I apologize for saying that you were doing counterterrorism initiatives in Xinjiang. Nothing happened in Xinjiang to the Uyghurs, okay? I just lost so much social credit. It fucking sucks. I'm not going to watch this 4-minute video, by the way. That's crazy. But yeah, aborto is gone. Wait, what is it? Have you never saw Japanese Muslims? No. I ain't never seen Japanese Muslims. It's just fascinating. It's like seeing a BTTV killed it. Wait, what? Why did BTTV kill it? I feel like we played a role in this. That sucks. No more social credit. You in social debt? No, dude. No. I don't want to be in social debt. No. Mosques all over Japan. Anyway, mega size Oreos and other snacks have gone viral in China, and you can get them too. Show this to a conservative and their heads will explode. Are you going to check out Civil War? I watched it last night and I really loved it. Yes. Yes, I will. Nothing can beat Indian netizens. One of the most viral videos last year was an astrology guy telling guys to rub yogurt on their balls while chanting a Hindu hymn to attract women you love. China got nothing on us. That is awesome. That sounds fire. Yeah. I'm gonna watch Civil War. Everybody chill out. Cool your jets. All right. Let's talk about the White House and how closely it is watching the Iranian threat. As you guys know, this is what we are following. This is the story of the weekend. Okay? Is there a video explaining why you aren't practicing Islam? I want to know the scoop on that. Bro, I've never been a religious person at all. I am not a religious person. I am at best culturally Muslim and at worst an infidel, a dirty little sacrilegious person. I don't know. I'm just not. Does it strike you as odd that I am not a very religious person? Is that really all that shocking to you? Be honest. I'm not even kidding. A big part of that for me literally was the no pork thing. I know this is like the most shocking thing for many Muslims. My many Muslim brothers and sisters, that's the only thing that they don't do usually. Like many of them drink, they do the worst shit, they gamble. They're always up on that usury shit. But when it comes to pork, they say, brother, no, brother. Because it's like, I think it's like easier to not consume. But for me, it's one of the harder rules, in my opinion, because it's just so delicious. Once you get a taste of that pork, it's like duck with human flesh last night. You know what I mean? Duck got a taste of that human flesh and he couldn't stop on Walking Dead. And it's just like me with pork. I got a taste of it and I was like, I can't stop myself. Brother, it's so good. It just bacon on its own is what cooks me, honestly. Bacon is what goes hard for me. That's it. It played a big role. What's the brother meme? Explain yourself. Okay, bro, I can't be explaining all this shit. I thought you hated thick shoelaces. Take them shits off, brother. I do hate thick shoelaces, except for the Rick Owens Doc Martens collab, which I'm wearing currently. This shit is dope. All right. Anyway, what the fuck am I doing, dude? Come on. It's time. It's time to talk about Iran. Will they, won't they? We're in a will they, won't they type situation with Iran right now with respect to Israel, as Iran is saying that they are going to inevitably retaliate against Israel. The time is now to punish Israel is the quote that came from the Iranian government. Okay, here it is.
CNN has learned that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is meeting with his war cabinet just ahead of what they anticipate could be a potential attack from Iran. It comes after an Israeli airstrike hit the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria last week, killing a dozen Iranian military officials. The Pentagon says the top U.S. general for the Middle East is in Israel right now, meeting with Israeli military officials about the security threats. And the White House tells CNN that officials there are keeping a very close eye on the situation and are in constant communication with Israel. Let's get to the latest reporting from our correspondents. CNN International
keeping a very close eye,
Nick
bro.
Robertson is joining us from Jerusalem, and our Natasha Bertrand is over at the Pentagon. Nick, first to you. First of all, what can you tell us about this Israeli War Cabinet meeting? How concerned are Israelis right now that Iran could launch an attack, a retaliatory attack against Israel?
There's a real concern, Wolf.
I am Iranian. They ain't doing shit. I mean, I'm leaning on the side of Iran not doing shit either, because like they have been remarkably restrained. Like they have been insanely restrained. Okay. So for me, that's what I'm on. That I'm leaning on the side of like Iran might not doing something crazy. But you guys know when I predict stuff, the exact opposite tends to happen. So no predictions for me, brother. Okay? It's not happening. Not going to do that. Not going to give you a prediction. Okay? Can't be doing that. I've learned my lesson. You guys know what I have said in the past, okay? You can't catch me. You can't catch me slipping, especially not at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break. Don't be caught slipping at the top of the hour without a subscription, which is for $5 dues or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. Use it on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that is Hasanabi Piker. But yeah. How long will Iran allow itself to get kicked in the nuts before Israel loses his shit? If Iran does anything, it's cooked, no matter how restrained, in my opinion. Israel kind of needed it for the PR, so will escalate immediately. Yeah. I mean, Israel has brought this upon themselves, but of course, no one will see it that way, no matter what happens. My suspicion, this is not speculation, I'm not like 100% on it, but my suspicion is that like Iran will probably blow up an embassy or some shit, okay? An Israeli embassy specifically. Okay, here's the 3-minute ad break now. Bill Boneless, thank you for the 5 Get This subs. I still don't understand what Hasanabi did wrong in predicting Russia v. Ukraine wrong. Like it was a prediction law. It don't matter. It don't matter. I am anti-America in my criticisms. I'm anti-State Department propaganda in my criticisms. And if you get something wrong, even remotely, the people that get things wrong professionally will constantly bludgeon you in the head over it. They still do it. So I am using very careful language. Okay. Is there no global repercussion for bombing a foreign embassy? Not when you're Israel. Not when you're America either, but Israel is an extension of America. So that's how it works. Okay.
That Iran could do that in the coming 24 or 48 hours. I've talked to various intelligence sources in the region.
We'll cover the what happens if Israel goes to war with Iran.
Understand, and this is what we're getting from a lot of different sources, that Iran is poised to respond. Now, of course, this could be Iran intentionally disinforming, putting disinformation out there just to create the sense of jitters among the Israeli public here, among the leadership in Israel about precisely what they'll do, and it's unclear what they'll do. Will they respond and strike back directly to Israel themselves? Will they use proxies to strike into Israel? Will they strike Israeli interests elsewhere in the region? That's a question on people's minds at the moment, but that strength and show of unity and support between the United States and Israel is on display today at the Hatzor Air Base in the south of Israel. The CENTCOM commander, General Eric Kurilla, there with Yoav Gallant, the Israeli Defense Minister, the Deputy IDF Chief of Staff, also there. So this is very much a message of unity and strength and preparedness. So this is what we heard from Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, the IDF's spokesperson, just last night.
I mean, it is kind of confusing. This coverage is kind of confusing, all things considered, because honestly, they are, I mean, some of the other coverage that we saw yesterday was like, Iran is going to fuck around and find out. Like, you still get that kind of like, talk shit, get hit, Iran, which is ironic because like Israel started it literally by striking their embassy. But, oh, here's Biden, who just said he expects an attack sooner rather than later. I mean, it's going to happen this weekend is what everybody's saying.
Expectation sooner than later.
Yeah, he said the expectation is sooner rather than later. Just now, breaking news. Israel is hoping Iran will respond so they have an excuse to attack Iran's nuclear facilities. Yeah, but like a broader conflict with Iran that draws the United States of America into it is going to not be beneficial for Israel's long-term existence in the region. I don't think that Iran itself is like a super powerful country, but they are significantly more powerful than Hamas is. They have actual missile capabilities. That's a whole standing nation. Like, think about it this way. Israel has a hard time dealing with Hamas as it's doing ethnic cleansing, right? And then you level up a little bit. You look at Hezbollah, which Israel has lost to in the past, which has its own military. You look at another regional player like Yemen, which has withstood genocide, but at least like they have some semblance of autonomy and are not like Hamas at all. And with the limited capabilities that the Yemen population has, they've been able to shut down the Red Sea. Okay? A little bit goes a long way as long as you are willing to take actions in this region. Okay? You're talking about Israel trying to deal with dudes who make bathtub rockets. When I say bathtub rockets, I'm not joking. They literally make their rocket launchers like by hand. They make their sniper rifles by hand. They use bomb parts that Israel has bombed in the region to basically make this shit, to whip it up. So if Israel's having a hard time with them, and America is having a hard time with the Houthis, okay, a much broader conflict is going to be devastating not only for Israel, but for the entire globe. Why? Because Iran is a whole-ass nation state. Iran is a whole-ass nation state that has been outside of the orbit of American influence for multiple decades, almost half a century. I mean, more than half a century at this point. Almost a century at this point. So clearly, they are propped against this sort of thing. This is like the reason for the existence of these incredibly, this is the reason for this incredibly fucking, oh my God, is this the new meta? What's happening here? It is the new meta, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know why I'm fucking paying attention to these dumb fucks. Okay. Indian chatter here, are you basically saying that Iran is lying too, sir? No, I've always had this notion that I repeat regularly, which is that war with a whole ass fucking state is not fought on how many people do they have, what are their capabilities, versus how many people does the other side have and what are their capabilities. All war is about attrition, okay? And countries that are more authoritarian or have withstood sanctions for many, many years are going to be able to withstand attrition for much longer. They have more mileage because their living conditions are already dog shit for the most part, okay? That's why when you look at Israel's actions, Israel's military actions in the region, or when you look at Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza versus the way that Hamas operates, you recognize that like they can get away with dying by the tens of thousands, even if you were to hit like Hamas commanders or whatever. It's not the same as killing one Israeli soldier. That takes a much larger toll on Israel. It's more expensive for Israel. There's more of a psychological toll on Israel. When Palestinians, all they know is death and destruction, and they have nowhere else to go, they're going to fucking sit there in a tunnel and wait. They can wait out Israel's ethnic cleansing. The same to a certain degree goes for Iran. Now, obviously, the Iranian living conditions for the average citizens is much better than Palestinians. But Iran also has a shit ton more capabilities as far as missile systems and also where they can hit those missiles. While Hamas cannot operate and has never historically operated outside of Gaza, right? And maybe to a certain degree in the West Bank every now and then, Iran can hit Saudi Arabia. Why is that significant? Because if you hit Saudi oil refineries, you all of a sudden are making this a much broader conflict for the rest of the planet. Iran has struck Saudi refineries in the past. Saudi Arabia knows this. Saudi Arabia knows that this is a genuine capability of Iran. We're not even talking about just the axis of resistance against Israel and America. We're talking straight up Iran potentially blowing up oil refineries and shutting down the Saudi capabilities. All of a sudden, there's an energy crisis for the rest of the globe. Okay? This is a major problem for everyone. It's a major political problem for the Western world, which is grown comfortable. Did you watch the Hakim video on Iran? No, but I would love to watch the Hakim video on Iran. Anyway, so this is very important to understand, okay? This is very important to understand. Yemen targeted Saudi, not Iran. Important to note that Iran is not simply a state actor, but a regional power. Yes.
Speaking about how prepared Israel is for whatever threat comes from Iran.
We're highly alert and prepared for a wide range of scenarios and are conducting a situational assessment. We're ready in both defense and offense with the various IDF capabilities and strategic partners.
Like, think about it this way. It's especially tricky for Europe, who are literally only just recovering from the cutoff from Russian oil. That didn't even officially happen. Like, utilizing non-Russian mediators to get Russian gas and oil literally made Russian oil more costly, right? It made Russian oil and gas more costly for Europe, and even that had a political toll. So when you think about it, like, we in the Western world are kind of weak due to our comfort, due to the living conditions that we are used to experiencing. It's weakness from the framework of, like, if we are thinking about war as attrition, the country that is invading, or the country that is facilitating an invasion, the country that is facilitating an invasion thousands of miles away, has much more to lose, even when they're, when their comforts are taken away. Bro, who's weak, lol? The United States of America is weaker as a whole because of a couple different reasons. One, we have some semblance of democracy, or an attitude that we have a belief that we have a theoretical democratic process in place. That is weakness if you're thinking about war. Bad analysis again. Woo! You're right. That's why historically the United States lost in Vietnam. The United States lost in Vietnam because of exactly what I just mentioned. We lost in Vietnam because we were fucking thousands of miles away doing death and destruction to a foreign population, and it went on for 20 fucking years. That's the same reason why we lost in Afghanistan. Okay? We had to pull out. Strongest military on the fucking planet. Why do we have to pull out? We had to pull out. No, it's not because the Vietnamese were better fighters. That's not true. It's because the Vietnamese had nowhere to go. It's because the Vietnamese had no other option but to defend themselves. And the Vietnamese also had less and could do more with less. When you are fighting against people, and no, it's not just that the Vietnamese were farmers. You had obviously you had the North Vietnamese army as well. Like, you had many different factions. You had, weapon systems and whatnot. They got support from the USSR. There are important factors in here. Obviously, their military capabilities were ascetic in comparison to the American military machine. But ultimately, the reason why America has lost time and time and time again against enemies that are significantly weaker than it is because there is a political toll when you are fighting and when you are doing imperialism. There's a limitation to how much imperialism you can do, because once it starts hurting back home, you go, all right, we got to dial this back a little bit. That's it. Yeah, Israel and Iranian GDP are somewhat similar, but Israel is completely dependent on foreign aid from the U.S. Iran is the power in the region that supports others. It's the regional big dog. Yes. So this is very important. You need to understand. Americans have more to lose. When you're fighting against someone who has less to lose than you, they have a significant upper hand. Okay, Americans have more to lose. Israelis have more to lose than the Palestinians, and therefore the Palestinians have an upper hand in this regard, even though the military capabilities of Israel, obviously a nuclear military state, is insane. Like, you can't even compare bathtub rockets to Merkava tanks, right? And yet you got dudes popping out of fucking holes in the goddamn holes in the bottom of fucking every meter in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, and just lobbing grenades, bypassing their trophy systems on the Merkava tanks. It's crazy. You have to remember that. Do you really think democracy makes people weak? No. But democracy makes you weak if you're trying to do war. If you're a warmonger, yes, a democratic process is going to hurt you, because domestically, it is, once people's living conditions suffer even a little bit, they're going to be like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we doing this? Yes, that's how it works. Chat will remember that. Yeah. Democracy makes war harder, which is why, you know, we kind of shut off a lot of the democratic pressure valves in times of war historically. You know, that's how it works in civilization. Yeah, I'm not operating off of Civ. I'm operating off of just normal human history. It's not that democracy makes the individual weak. It makes the leader's authority weaker. Yes, exactly. You have to convince your population to go to war while an authoritarian regime just doesn't. Except it's not just that. Democracy and prosperity makes you weak, okay? Prosperity also makes you weak because when you are a nation that is comfortable, like the Western nations on this planet, okay, your population is used to some level of treats. And if those treats get cut off, you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Chill out, bro. We got to dial this shit back. I want my fucking treats again. Okay? That's my point. Same with the Israelis versus the Palestinians. Okay? I mean, I've been saying that. I've been saying that since the beginning of this fucking conflict as well. But America as a whole isn't prosperous right now. No, America is infinitely more prosperous than the global south that we extract natural resources and labor power from. What the fuck do you mean? Get your head out of your ass for a moment. I'm talking about the labor aristocracy. I'm talking about the comfort that the average American citizen has, okay? The average American citizen is in an infinitely more comfortable place than the average citizen anywhere else on the fucking anywhere else in the global south, especially. You know what I mean? Big part of that comfort also comes from the never-ending imperialist agenda, the never-ending war, the military-industrial complex. All right, let's keep going.
Strike coming from Iranian territory will clearly prove the Iranian intentions to escalate the situation in the Middle East and to stop hiding behind its proxies.
And I think you get a level of the understanding of how this concern is shared jointly between the United States and Israel, the State Department and the embassy here, warning staff not to stray beyond the sort of Tel Aviv area, Jerusalem area, Beersheba area. Stay in those areas. The concern is it's just not clear what Iran's move is going to be, the sense that it could be soon, Wolf.
Yeah, there's a lot of concern, and those the U.S. Embassy and other embassies in Israel as well are issuing warnings to their citizens to stay put, basically, and start worrying about the potential. Let's hope it doesn't happen, about the potential of this war escalating big time between Israel and Iran. Natasha, I want to go to the Pentagon with you for a moment. The top U.S. military commander in the Middle East, the commander of the U.S. Military Central Command, is in Israel right now. We just heard Nick talk about that. What do we know about his trip, the coordination that's going on between the United States and Israel in anticipation, in fear of a full-scale Iranian retaliatory response?
Well, Wolf, Eric Kurilla, the top general for the Middle East, he did say that the U.S. and the Pentagon did say also that the U.S. stands with Israel against any potential attack that Iran might launch against the Israelis. And President Biden made this very clear as well, that they are in constant coordination with the Israelis to prepare for the possibility that they do launch some kind of attack directly on Israeli soil. And according to a readout from the Israeli side, General Eric Kurilla, he did meet with Yoav Gallant today to discuss.
For the record, Israel has stated, I don't know if they would follow through on this, but Israel has stated that if Iran strikes them in any capacity, they are already doing military training with the Cypriot military for striking Iranian targets inside of the Iranian state. So Israel has said that they will increase the pressure. Okay? Not like not taking pot shots against IRGC leadership or other axis of resistance forces in Syria and in Iraq, and also against Hezbollah in Lebanon, okay, in southern Lebanon. Israel has violated a couple red lines. Israel has crossed a couple boundaries. First, obviously, the escalation and going into Gaza and doing ethnic cleansing. Okay? But if these other regional actors consider Palestinian lives to be at least remotely expendable, there are a couple other red lines that Israel has definitely crossed that violate, like, that rational actors in the region have to respond to. Because if they don't actually respond to it, then Israel has shown that they will continue going harder and harder and harder. These red lines are striking Beirut. Israel has in the past struck Beirut, but very limited. Okay? But striking Beirut is a major escalation. Okay? Striking Beirut is a major escalation against Hezbollah and against the Lebanese state in general. Another even more major red line that was crossed was this past week when Israeli forces bombed the Iranian embassy compound in Damascus. Okay? When you do that, you are basically hitting Iranian territory. They took out a bunch of higher level IRGC people, but you are not allowed to do that. You can't, like, there are rules to this sort of thing. Okay? So when Israel is operating like this, other regional actors have to do something. Consulate, not embassy, sorry. The consulate compound. But, like, you have to do something. You have to retaliate, or else Israel has shown that they will continue escalating over and over and over again. And that is the predicament that Israel has placed Iran in. That is the predicament that Israel has placed every other regional actor in. Okay? They are belligerent. They are striking blindly at anyone and everyone they can. And I think their ultimate goal is to try to draw the United States into a broader conflict against Iran. I think that's the reason why they're doing this. Now, if I can make this speculation, then I'm assuming American State Department operatives can make this speculation as well, as they have a shit ton more information and more knowledge. More direct, on the ground knowledge, like espionage capabilities are much better for the State Department than someone like myself. They're getting direct information from Israel. They know better. Okay? So, yeah, they have intelligence, like direct intelligence, and they communicate directly they communicate directly with the Israeli state. So, if I can see it, they can too. So if they can see it, why are they not reining Israel in? Why are they not making assurances to Iran that they will rein Israel in? And I think therein lies the heart of the conflict within the American State Department. From the beginning of October 8 and Israel's latest siege into Gaza, there have been people within the American State Department that are saying that Israel is going to go above and beyond, and we have to be more careful because they are going to over leverage and abuse our unconditional allegiance. This is why many State Department people obviously were very agitated, and some even quit, right, over the Biden administration's like no red lines, unconditional bear hug support to Israel. That's why you saw a lot of resignations. And that's why you saw a lot of people who are still in the American State Department that are very critical of the Biden administration. Now, let me explain something to you. And you have to understand this. You have to understand something. Those in the American State Department do not care about Palestinian lives. Their interest in reining Israel in has nothing to do with saving Palestinian lives. You need to understand that. Their interest is because they see the writing on the wall. They recognize that Israel going above and beyond like this in the most belligerent way possible makes them look weaker to the rest of the world, makes them look weaker to the global south, that they can't rein in their own attack dog. So politically, it limits our soft power capabilities. And if Israel destabilizes this region with a much broader conflict drawing Iran in, all of a sudden you reach the bar of like maximum gun sales and you go above it. Because obviously chaotic circumstances are great for capital owners. They can always find a way to make money in a situation like this. But too much chaos, well, when you have too much chaos, all of a sudden profit margins are going to go down. Okay? And I think that the State Department interest, or at least those within the American State Department that are trying to rein Israel in or trying to urge the Biden camp to scale this back dramatically, okay, see that Israel has reached critical mass, a terminal velocity, if you will, okay? Because the market will be great until one moment where it's no longer great, okay? However, I do fear that that point has probably been passed. Here is the executive vice president of the Quincy Institute, Trita Parsi, and his analysis on Israel and America's allegiance. Biden is about to drag America into a war with Iran on behalf of Israel. The disastrous way he has handled matters since Israel bombed the Iranian consulate in Damascus shows that any shift in Biden's policy on Israel was all talk, no walk. Okay? Here's a short thread on Biden's latest cave to Netanyahu. According to the U.S., it was not given an adequate heads up for Israel's carefully calculated bombing of the Iranian consulate in Damascus. This is a major violation. Okay? The fact that Israel is not telling America that they're bombing Iranian soil is insane. Okay? Not only is it obviously illegal, it is very dangerous because of what we are seeing right now, what is happening right now. But it's ridiculous. It makes America look weak again. It's not just disrespectful, which it is. It makes Biden look weak, but it makes American soft power. It limits America's soft power capabilities because now everyone else goes, well, you can't fucking control Israel. Why the fuck would I listen to you? It kind of pierces the veil of American hegemony. Okay? Not only was it a flagrant violation of the Vienna Convention, but it also risked, perhaps intentionally, ending the fragile truce between the U.S., Iran, and Iran-aligned militias in Iraq and Syria. By that, Israel directly and knowingly jeopardized American security and put U.S. troops at risk. Indeed, and this is, again, remember, this is from the perspective of the American State Department, okay? This is not my opinion. His analysis is talking about this from the framework of American hegemonic power and American safety and security. Okay? Two very different things, because my opinion on the matter is obvious. I think Israel is an illegal, abhorrent, genocidal apartheid regime that is arrogant, and its arrogance and its hubris will lead to its demise. Okay? That's entirely different from what I am talking about right now with respect to how some American State Department officials are viewing the situation and recognizing that our unconditional allegiance with Israel has caused them to go above and beyond and try to bring about try to draw the United States into a much larger conflict. They crossed several red lines, as you said, but attacking Iran's consulate in Damascus was a strategic move because Syria and Iran have a close-knit relationship, and that embassy is a very crucial point of contact. At the same time, it is Iran's soil they attacked. Netanyahu made a big whoopsie here. It's not a whoopsie. They did it deliberately, I think. Iran is going to attack Israeli soil as well. Whatever happens, happens. Also, Iran does have nukes. Okay, well, I don't know if Iran has nukes or not. We don't know about that. But it is a war crime. It is completely unacceptable. You've said multiple times that this can lead to Israel's demise, and I don't understand how we get here from that point. America needed to pull out and pull the exit valve 1 million times before this moment, for the record. If America had been a little bit more restrained in its unconditional support for Israel, perhaps Israel wouldn't feel like they have the bandwidth to be able to do this kind of thing. Okay? It was a major strategic misstep made by zealots. Okay? People like Biden and their unconditional support to Israel has caused Israel to think that they could get away with being this belligerent and even draw the United States into broader conflict. This is entirely in the hands of the ultra-Zionists within the Brandon camp. Okay? A normal and appropriate response from the President of the United States would have been to strongly rebuke Israel for jeopardizing American security. This was not an act of self-defense by any stretch of the imagination. Condemn the attack due to its violation of a key tenet of international law, and use that even-handedness to also press Iran to show further restraint. That did not happen. But this is not how Biden operates. Even when Israel undermines U.S. interests and security, even though Biden knows that Netanyahu has an interest in prolonging and enlarging the war, which Biden has declared contradicts U.S. interests. Instead, Biden refused to condemn Israel's escalation and flagrant violation of international law, another major reveal of how meaningless Biden's rules-based order talk is, and effectively blocked the UN Security Council for condemning it as well. But perhaps most shockingly, Biden then goes on to give Israel another bear hug, another standing green light, by repeatedly stating that U.S. support for Israel is ironclad. So instead of rebuking Israel for jeopardizing the safety of the American troops in the Middle East, Biden rewarded Israel. And by that, he deprives Israel of any incentives to avoid pushing the Middle East towards a disastrous regional war that will also engulf the United States. Biden's bear hug on October 8 helped remove any Israeli inhibitions about how it would conduct the war. Now, Biden has once again helped remove any such inhibitions about Israel starting a regional war that America doesn't want and doesn't need. Netanyahu is lucky to have such a deferential American president, and America is unlucky to have such a weak president. I think this analysis is very sound. If they had drawn Israel, if they had reined Israel in since October 8 instead of fucking bear hugging Netanyahu, it wouldn't have gotten to this point most likely. Okay? America is letting Israel roam free in this region, and Israel is a violent attack dog, striking at anyone and everyone without care and consideration for anything. Not their own, not the livelihood of their own citizens, not the livelihood and safety and security of American soldiers in the region, certainly obviously not the, humanity of the Palestinian population, but that much we knew about already. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know. I feel as though we may have crossed a point of no return here if Iran ends up striking an Israeli embassy. Even then, Israel's retaliation probably will be even more severe. Obviously, this is pure speculation. And if Israel's retaliation is more severe, then Iranian retaliation will be even more severe, and America will have to make a decision, and that decision most likely will, judging by how America has operated so far, and how quickly the media will probably say, like, well, look, see, poor Israelis are being killed by these barbaric monsters that may or may not have done 9/11, like Iran. Iran did 9/11, by the way, which they didn't, obviously. I'm joking, but think about how quickly we latched Iran onto the axis of evil post 9/11 when they were like, the fuck do you mean we did 9/11? The guys we hate and we fight against in the region did 9/11 directly. So we'll see what happens.
Readiness for an Iranian attack against the state of Israel, which may lead to regional escalation. So clearly all sides here are bracing for the possibility that this escalates into a full-on conflict between Iran and Israel. However, U.S. intelligence assessments, as we reported a little bit earlier in the week, they assess that this is more likely to be carried out by Iranian proxy forces in the region rather than from Iran directly. And that is for a number of reasons, but most prominently is because the Iranians don't necessarily want to get get involved in a full-blown war with Israel that the U.S., as they have stated publicly, would then come to Israel's defense with. So the Iranians trying to kind of temper their response according to our sources. However, it is very possible at this point, according to intelligence assessments, that these Iranian proxies carry out attacks against Israeli assets in the region. And so all sides kind of bracing for that, and importantly, how Israel is going to respond, because that is also going to inform just how much this conflict escalates, Wolf.
So, Natasha, just to be precise, if Hezbollah, an Iranian proxy in southern Lebanon, starts launching rockets and missiles, bombs towards Haifa, Tel Aviv, elsewhere in Israel, the Israelis presumably would respond big time against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, try to destroy their capability, but it wouldn't necessarily attack directly Iranian targets in Iran. Is that the U.S. understanding as well?
Well, it's not clear just whether the U.S. would characterize an attack by an Iranian proxy against Israel as an attack by Iran itself. The U.S. has made very clear, of course, that the proxies are only able to function and really survive because of Iranian support for them. But at the same time, you know, it would definitely be a layer removed from Iran itself if the proxies were the ones carrying out these attacks. However, Israel has said that they are going to respond forcibly to whatever kind of attack they are faced with by Iran or its proxies. And so it just remains to be seen how exactly this is going to play out.
Very important, very worrisome developments unfolding right now. Natasha, thank you. Nick, thanks to you as well. I want to bring in CNN military analyst, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Mark Hertling. General, thanks so much for joining us. As you know, officials are telling CNN they expect Iran will respond imminently, keyword imminently. Do you think Iran is likely to strike Israel directly, or could that happen through a proxy like Hezbollah, for example, in Lebanon?
Everyone's asking that question, Wolf, and what I'd say is General Kurilla is there because he's looking at what is the most dangerous course of action that Iran will take and what's the most likely. The most dangerous is a strike by Iran inside of Israel, because that could certainly cause an inflection point and expand this war. The most likely, as all of your reporters, Natasha just said, is like.
Yeah, by the way, remember, the dangerous inflection point isn't Israel striking what is functionally Iranian soil, right? That's not the inflection point. The inflection point is when Iran retaliates for being striked by Israel.
Likely an attack by any number of proxy groups, whether it's Hezbollah in Lebanon or any of the PMF forces in Iraq or Syria or in the area. So that's what General Kurilla, and probably he has some of his intelligence officers with him, as well as some of his operators, so that they can react with naval and air forces from the U.S. in case anything does happen, because the key is deterring any further expansion of this regional conflict.
The Israeli strike on that Iranian consulate building in Damascus was, what, about a week or so ago. Why do you think Iran has now waited this long to respond? They immediately issued warnings that they were going to respond, but they haven't yet.
Well, part of it is the messaging that Iran often uses, and they're concerned about attacking.
By the way, while they're saying that this is a retaliatory attack right now, which is definitely a change of pace from what was expected from mainstream media, which usually laps up State Department propaganda, that attitude will change very quickly if Iran does retaliate. So make no mistake, I would be shocked. I would be shocked if the United States of America actually, or American media actually didn't change tone and kept saying that this was a retaliation and not simply an escalation from Iran, making it seem like Iran just did this out of nowhere, right? Making it seem like Iran came out of nowhere, fucking swinging for the fences, like they did, like they covered October 7. You should check out the Bourdain content on Iran. He does the country justice. Okay, we'll do that later. Okay.
So far,
they're calling it a potential retaliatory attack, which is interesting. That is definitely bad PR for Israel, which I suspect which I suspect comes from the fact that Israel is like expanded on their mileage on getting favorable coverage over and over again with the whole genocide stuff. So especially after they killed a bunch of white people in Gaza and like triple tapped them. So yeah, we'll see.
Inside of Israel, because truthfully, Wolf, as you know, Israel's force is pretty extensive and pretty competent. They can certainly go after Iranian forces if they do these kind of things. So I think Iran is trying to get their proxies together to determine what would be the best and most effective attacks by their proxies and potentially themselves without being deterred or countered by any Israeli forces. So again, that's why everyone is on the edge to see which kind of force Iran will use and how they will use it.
Israel reportedly preparing for a new worst-case scenario, a direct attack from Iran on Israeli soil. Sources say that the strike could happen at any time within the next 48 hours. Tehran has already vowed to take revenge for last week's IDF strike on an Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria. The White House says they're taking the threat very seriously.
We are certainly mindful of a very public and what we consider to be a very credible threat made by Iran in terms of potential attacks on Israel, and that we are in constant communication with our Israeli counterparts about making sure that they can defend themselves against those kinds of attacks.
Jennifer Griffin is live at the Pentagon with more. Jen?
Dagan, I've been covering the Middle East, as you know, for 30 years, and I have never seen things so tense with the potential for a wider war to break out between Israel and Iran, which could draw the U.S. and others into a wider Middle East war. Until now, the U.S. has been facing Iranian proxies, but in the wake of the Israeli airstrike on April 1st in Damascus that killed the Iranian Revolutionary Guard general and 6 other top Iranian commanders responsible for arming Iran's proxy groups, Iran appears poised to avenge that attack with a massive show of force, targeting Israeli territory. In recent days, the U.S. has pre-positioned additional military assets in the region. The attacks by the Houthis, supported by Iran, continue to threaten U.S. ships in the Red Sea. Tensions are at an all-time high. U.S. officials tell me that they have seen movement suggesting that Iranian ballistic missiles could launch any day. Israeli warplanes are patrolling the skies along the borders, and Israel's military has been put on high alert for a massive missile and drone strike that is expected to emanate from Iran. The U.S. Embassy told Americans who work for the embassy not to leave Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, or Beersheba, and to avoid travel to the north or south of Israel. The head of U.S. Central Command, General Eric Kurilla, was in Israel to meet with Israel's Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, who praised General Kurilla as a true friend of Israel. General Kurilla briefed his Israeli defense counterparts on the latest intelligence and is still in the region.
We're comfortable with the way we have communicated the reality of this threat and the conversations that we're having with Israel. What we are not going to sit back and be comfortable on is knowing exactly what this is going to look like. And that's why we are working so intensively to make sure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself.
What's unusual is for Iran to telegraph its response. It usually relies on proxies and terrorism, with the U.S. releasing what is clearly very specific.
It relies on proxy and terrorism.
Specific intelligence. You can't rule out that Iran will look for an off-ramp to avoid a war that could draw in U.S. forces. All eyes now on the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. And Dagan, if I could just add to your discussion on 702, we've just received a statement from CIA Director Bill Burns, an urgent statement about the 702 FISA vote that is upcoming. And he explained how crucial this 702 basically to renew it is for the U.S. intelligence community. He said that they would not be able to track the Chinese networks that bring fentanyl through Mexico and up through the border into the United States. They could not have killed al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. They could not have stopped or found the network that attacked the Colonial Pipeline. So this 702 legislation needs to be renewed and without any amendments or warrants because it would be so dangerous otherwise. Dagan.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Paul, to you first on this. Jennifer mentioned China. The United States is essentially bankrolling Iran because Joe Biden and company.
Bro, we're so cooked. The way that we fucking operate in this country is so crazy. Like, dude, this is the most, remember, this is the most popular news network, okay? Read my messages, brother. What? Don't take the fent away, we need more. Don't take the fentanyl away, we need more. M are the best. I love fent. It was a joke. Why are you asking me to read your message? You didn't even fucking pair that with a 3-minute ad break debate at the top of the hour, by the way, which is a misstep in my opinion. My man was like, please, dude, you have to read what I have to say, which is, I love fentanyl. You know what I love? The top of the hour ad break and avoiding the top of the hour ad break by subscribing for $5 or for free. Okay? If you also love avoiding the top of the hour ad break, then subscribe for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. Okay? This way, you will spend your $5 wisely instead of putting it in the fentanyl fund. A1 since day one, thank you for the 5 community gifted subs. Allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. I don't know what the going rate is for fentanyl, and I don't intend to learn what the going rate is for fentanyl. You can also subscribe with your Amazon Prime account being connected to your Twitch account where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month. There, you can use that there, or get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Use a 3-minute ad break now. Using upper decky or lower decky? I'm an upper decky boy. I've never done lower decky. That's crazy. I used to chew lower deckies though. When I was a chewer, chewing tobacco, that is, I would lower deck it.
Have not done everything in their power to drive down the price of oil and to stop the export of Iranian oil, particularly to China. We have not even sanctioned Chinese buyers of Iranian oil, which the Republicans in the House have tried to do.
Yeah, and we also sent them pallets of cash, right? So we haven't made Iran
We did not
feel
do that.
need a real pain here. And
We did not do that. That's bullshit. That's not real. It's also not real. We unfroze assets that they were supposed to get paid for selling oil to South Korea. And we unfroze those $6 billion of assets and sent it by way of Qatar. We did not give them pallets of cash. It was their money. It was their money, and the fact that we were able to stop South Korea from paying Iran for oil that they had purchased is insane. But of course, that's how it works when we are the #1 country on the planet, baby.
I'm going to go back to what I would argue is the original blunder, which is this. Subsequent to the original attack, the United States took a step back and operated essentially through the media and through pronouncements. At the same time, the Hamas leadership resides in what is nominally an American ally, Qatar. And we have left their operational control, command and control in place. Where is the case on them? Hamas is a designated terrorist group. Why aren't we treating them the way we treated ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and everybody else? Indict the leadership, tell Qatar, get them on the tarmac in JFK tomorrow. Otherwise, you know what? You're going to have a problem with us because they have 4 or 5 major American university campuses there. We have a major military base. Our biggest one in the Middle East is in Qatar. We have plenty of leverage there. We haven't used it, and it's one of the reasons why Iran is so empowered.
The Wall Street Journal today, Emily, writes, Biden remembers that Iran is listening, and they say the following: abandoning an ally in wartime is an invitation to its enemies. And in essence, that's what Biden and the Democrats have done or started to do to Israel in recent weeks. He threatened to withdraw support Biden did for the Israeli war effort. You had 40 and up to 56 House Democrats threatening to cut off weapons to Israel. And what happens? Well, Iran is emboldened.
That's right. We demonstrated to the world how Biden responds and behaves to our allies in Afghanistan. We set the plate, we set the table right then. The reason that, as Jennifer Griffin frighteningly points out, that we are the closest to a Middle East war than we've been in decades is because there's been a failure of deterrence, because our president has a fear of escalation that has eclipsed any show of strength. When you have a leader in the Oval Office that has no backbone, that is afraid of ruffling feathers throughout the globe and throughout the Middle East, that is afraid of showing support for allies rather than in exchange for capitulating to enemies, essentially, this is what happens. The fact that it's in the Supreme Ayatollah's court right now and he's making a decision on what exactly to do, it shouldn't have gotten that far. If you're in a bar and you see a really big guy with spikes on his knuckles, you're not even going to get to the point of talking smack to him. You are deterred. The globe right now is on the brink because this person in our Oval Office has not made it clear what would happen if things happen to our allies, or should I say maybe he's made it clear what will happen.
I just don't understand how you look at you look at the situation on hand and you go, no, we got to fucking bomb further, bomb harder. It just feels like when you look at mainstream media, right? The liberal outlets are saying like, well, this is an escalation and a retaliation, but like Iran is still the big bad. And then you look at Fox News on the right-wing side of media and they're just like, Brandon is weak because he hasn't nuked the Gaza Strip personally and nuked Iran as well. It just goes from like decent but kind of still bad on shaky ground to, oh my God, how are you saying this? How are these words coming out of your mouth? When in fact the answer is that de-escalatory bombing doesn't work, by the way. This was demonstrated once again in Yemen. When you operate on the delusion that violence is strength, especially when you consider every non-American subhuman, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. I think they're just spitting here because they think either that like the American capabilities are impossible to shake and impossible to defend against, or they just don't give a shit. Like they don't think about what will happen as a consequence of like if America were to follow the Fox News line and greatly escalate violence in the region and go in full blown with our current unconditional support to Israel, level up our unconditional support to Israel. I don't think they're thinking about like what that means for the American economy. I don't think they're thinking about like what that means for American safety and security. They're just wildly sitting there calling Biden a pussy. That's it. I don't think that the American government is operating on this level, even though there are definitely people in the Brandon camp that are operating like this. Please, we have to nuke Iran. Please, just nuke Iran one time. Please, a nuke would be so sick. Like the dudes that have that attitude definitely do exist in the State Department. I mean, I don't know.
Which is nothing.
Oil is up so far this year. It's soaring today.
Like they're complaining about oil prices. What do you think a fucking regional conflict will do to oil prices, dumbass? What do you think?
About 20%. That's enriching Iran. It is giving Iran more money to fund terrorism and fund its proxies. And if this administration is not doing everything to drive down the price of oil and cut off oil coming out of Iran, again, we're funding as a nation those very terrorism and the death of Americans.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Joe Biden has thrown Israel to the wolves over a few votes in Michigan. So, like, what you think we're expecting a little too much?
If Biden was more restrained with Israel, Israel would not be in the fucking wolves, quote unquote. I mean, Israel would not be in this current predicament because Israel would recognize that they can't get away with like blowing up fucking Iranian embassies, man.
From this man. I mean, ask yourself, when you hear Joe Biden speak, does he project strength? Nope. You're like, I've interviewed a lot of generals, intelligence officers, foreign policy experts for my podcast, The Truth with Lisa Booth. And the one takeaway you'll get is that a lot of foreign policy comes down to human nature, right? It's that playground mentality, particularly when you're dealing with the authoritarians and terrorists. It's a show of strength. Right. And we went from being the big guy on the playground that people were afraid to under Donald Trump to getting your lunch money stolen and stuffed into a locker under Joe Biden. And so the only way to bring peace and stability to the world again is electing Donald Trump. And we were told
XP 9011, thank you for the 25 community gift. This
the guy couldn't be trusted with the nuclear codes. Now he's the only one we can trust, you know. And so that's the only path forward. I mean, everything that guy did was a show of force. Whether it's taking out Qasem Soleimani, sending those 59 Tomahawk missiles to Syria, the mother of all bombs, the list goes on. So that's the only way to get peace.
Yeah, totally. You know what was really sick? You know what was really sick that Donald Trump did? Throw away the Iran denuclearization agreement and make sure that Iran understands that like there is no denuclearization. We are going to put sanctions and we're going to keep adding sanctions on, even if you follow through on the conditions, which Iran did continue following through on. Until they were like, okay, well, I guess we're going back to fucking upping our nuclear capabilities. So if Iran has a nuke now, that is entirely in the hands of Donald Trump. I don't know if they have a nuke or not, but if they do have one, it is definitely Donald Trump's fault. Okay? Just something to consider. So that's a major misstep on that front. Donald Trump's actions with the Abraham Accords was also directly linked to the October 7 attacks. Time and time again, especially since Bill Clinton, we have told Israel to do whatever the fuck it wants. We are not going to pull back. We are not going to pull support. How do you think they got to this incredibly arrogant and incredibly violent state? We let them. Okay? We let them. Meanwhile, Germany is out of control, by the way. The Berlin police, ironic, I'm wearing a Polizei sweater right now. The Berlin police arrested the spokesperson for Jewish Voice for Peace in Germany, Udi Raz, as horrified onlookers shout never again amid the scenes so reminiscent of Germany's Nazi past/present. Also, German police arrested citizens of the Berlin airport holding signs saying, let Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitta in. German authorities banned Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitta. Remember, he is a plastic and reconstructive surgeon who was operating inside of Gaza until recently, until he had to evacuate. Okay? Germany is fucking out of control. They've lost their goddamn minds. Okay? Anyway, let's get back to this Iran-Israel shit.
Peace and stability back into the world.
Yeah. Carly. Yeah, I mean, this is significant for several reasons. One of them is that it's expected to be a direct attack from Iran, not an Iranian proxy. And what does that mean for the United States? Well, there are a lot of American citizens still living in Israel. So what happens if American lives are lost in this expected attack? Where does that put us in terms of escalation between the United States and Iran? What will that mean in terms of the future of the war? So that is different. That could potentially be an escalation. In many ways.
By the way, this picture, 1,000 words, dude. True and On Pod posted this. Antisemitismus ist verboten. Judenhund. Like arresting a Jewish guy in Germany for calling out the Palestinian genocide that Israel is doing is fucking insane. And the dude has Trump hair too. It's just like, no, I know what Hund means, dude. Mehmet is Jewish. Yeah, this is Mehmet posting. He's Turkish, but he's, I guess, allowed. I know that what that means. Incredible stuff coming out of Germany right now. Back-to-back genocide champions, or genocide losers, I guess. Dude looks like John Hitler. This is so fucking insane to me. Like, I see this and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Are you not thinking at all about how this looks? They're just like, I don't know, man. Germany has been spiritually, the German state has been spiritually not all right. Okay. I've been talking about this for a minute now. I know that there are obviously a lot of German leftists in the chat that get like kind of mad when I mention this stuff, but I mean, this is a ridiculous sight, okay? This is a fucking ridiculous sight. Liberals love talking about optics until it's optics about them looking like Hitler. Yeah. As my Holocaust survivor grandfather always said, Germany never stopped being a Nazi state. I mean, yeah. By the way, German media is spinning it, saying police cracked down on a gathering of anti-Semitic Israel haters. That's pretty funny because, you know, this photo is pretty crazy. Talk about them sabotaging the electronics of the Palestine Congress and then shutting down the event after a few hours, even though it was supposed to go till Sunday. What is the whole context here? Did he trespass or something? What? No, man. No. No. No. No, the context is that DM25 was live streaming. There was a Palestinian Congress. Here, let me finish this and then I'll talk about it, okay?
Ways, though, this situation is somewhat more of the same because Iran already funds Hamas and Hezbollah, two terror groups that are already fighting in Israel right now. And that is one of the main reasons why stopping the sanctions against Iran and taking the foot off the gas of the maximum pressure campaign was such a grave mistake.
We have, remember, Hamas has Americans.
Yeah.
And Iran knows that, and they've seen our response.
So
great point.
That's
great
Biden's
point.
policy. Money to Iran and refuse to change course even when U.S. troops suffer traumatic brain injuries or are killed. For more than 3 years.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe.
I love setting my DVR. Okay. Let's talk about Germany and how Germany as a country is just spiritually not all right. Okay. What do I mean by this? Yanis Varoufakis and some other individuals, okay, basically were holding together a Palestinian Congress, okay? This Congress in Germany, in Berlin, was supposed to talk about the conditions of Palestinians and how Israel is doing a genocide. Those things are true. Just, you know, they were supposed to talk about true things. This is a recent article, but I want like specifically an article on the Congress if you guys have it. Okay. Germany has been definitely cracking down on pro-Palestinian protests, going absolutely crazy mode with it. I've been in a lurk for a few weeks because I got to literally and politically deal with this shit, but you're talking about Iran and Germany. Haha, you might as well have me on as a guest. I'm the German liaison of the Iranian government. Okay, chill. Ali Abunimah got the right idea about Germany. Germany must be completely demilitarized and banned forever from producing or possessing weapons other than lightly armed police forces under international supervision. After Bundeskanzler's support for the Gaza genocide, never again has to mean ever again. He's right. NATO, the Nazi American terror organization, must be abolished. He's so right, dude. This video sums up the German position pretty well.
Meine Frage war, wie sollen die sich aus deutscher Sicht wehren? Du hast gesagt, verhandeln oder kooperieren.
Bro just sent me a fucking full-blown German video, dude. Are you insane? Like, no subtitles whatsoever. Just sent me a German fucking talk show. No subs, no nothing. Bro, you think I can fucking translate that? What are you, crazy? Anyway, not only do I speak very little German, but I refuse to learn more German, okay? For two reasons. One, because I don't need to, because when I go to Berlin or Kreuzberg, everyone is fucking Turkish anyway. So knowing Turkish is enough. It's literally like being a Spanish-only speaker in like certain parts of America. And two, I refuse to speak German out of principle. Just like my father refuses to speak English out of principle, even though he is fluent in German and will speak German, I refuse to speak German out of principle for similar reasons. Okay? I will do the accent though. So here's what happened. Germany cancels pro-Palestine event, bars entry to Gaza war witness. So first thing that I saw this morning was Abu Sitta, Ghassan Abu Sitta, Palestinian surgeon who was in Gaza until recently. As you guys know, I relied on a lot of the firsthand accounts from him in the early stages of the genocide in Gaza. That's probably why you remember his name. He's a British Palestinian surgeon who had to evacuate. And he was traveling to Germany. Except the German police had some different opinions on that. They stopped him at the airport earlier today. And it didn't stop there, it seems. Here is what they did. One of the main speakers, Ghassan Abu Sitta, a British Palestinian doctor, had earlier been denied entry into Germany to attend this event, the Palestinian Congress. The German government forcibly has prevented me from entering the country. He was invited to address a conference in Berlin about my work in Gaza hospitals during the present conflict. The German government has forcibly prevented me from entering the country, silencing a witness to the genocide before the ICJ adds the German complicity in the ongoing massacre. The doctor who volunteered in Gaza hospitals during the first weeks of the Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign said he arrived at Berlin airport on Friday morning before being stopped at passport control, where he was held for several hours and told he had to return to the UK. Nine! They said. You will not enter the country, Arabic dog, they said. Okay. Airport police said he was refused entry due to the safety of the people at the conference and public order, Abu Sitta told the Associated Press. Okay. An event organizer, Nadija Samur, told Turkey's state-run Anadolu agency, Anadolu Ajans, Masadayız, there's absolutely no legal basis for this, no justification at all. Abu Sitta is the dean of the University of Glasgow. I can't imagine that he's a dangerous person or a person who incites violence. Quite the opposite. This is literally a fucking doctor, bro. Okay? Who spent who spent the first and perhaps the more violent instances of Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign, saving people's lives inside of Gaza. Okay? Abu Sitta added that on X that barring him from the event was silencing a witness to genocide before the ICJ adds to Germany's complicity in the ongoing massacre. But it didn't stop the German police. The SS, the Gestapo, continued their actions as police in Berlin interrupted and canceled a pro-Palestinian conference soon after it started, hours after one of the main speakers said authorities held him up at the airport and prevented him from entering Germany. Officers initially halted the Palestine Congress because another speaker was subject to a ban on political activity in Germany, police wrote on the social media platform X on Friday. They did not give the name of the speaker, but participants in Congress wrote on X that it was Palestinian researcher Salman Abu Sitta. Police later wrote on X that they had banned the remainder of the conference, which was being attended by about 250 people and due to last until Sunday. They said there were risks that the same speaker would be invited to talk again, accusing him of having made anti-Semitic statements in the past. Here's a video from the Berlin police, the Gestapo, canceling the pro-Palestinian Congress. Okay? Berlin police just canceled the entire Palestine Congress. I was the only speaker that successfully finished the speech. Salman Abu Sitta was cut off after 1 minute. Our live stream ended and the electricity cut off. They broke in. Check your current viewer locations. Twitch panel. A lot of Germans tuning in right now. Yeah. They went in. Apparently they broke through the panel and shut off the electricity by force and arrested people that were at the Palestine conference, including, but not limited to, a German Jewish person who is the head of the Jewish Voice for Peace in Germany. Here it is. A video I just received shows Polizei Berlin arresting the spokesperson of Jewish Voice for Peace in Germany, Udi Raz, as horrified onlookers shout never again amid the scenes so reminiscent of Germany's Nazi past, including current Nazi present.
Never again! Das brennt! Unser Städtel brennt!
SS unit arresting Jewish political dissident for protesting against ongoing genocide, colorized. That shit's definitely gonna, that will probably get me hate speeched by, I suspect, the German Twitter. They saw opposition to genocide and their epigenetic memory kicked in and they arrested him reflexively. Yeah. Guys, you don't understand. They're doing this because they're doing this in a anti-Semitism way. They're gonna ban you from Germany. No schnitzel. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. Yeah, NetsDG alerts incoming. Holy moly. I guess they are simply just following orders. Here's another image from Red. Palestine Congress in Berlin, Germany was shut down and all peace activists were arrested. Carried out by the most blonde cop in Germany. Yeah, no, it's like, it is wild that they're not even thinking about like the optics of the situation. Like, it is just like, it is crazy. Like, how do you not see having the blondest cop in tactical gear, like arresting a Jewish anti-Zionist protester? Like, how do you not see what is going on? And I, no pun intended, not see. How do you not see what's happening here? They found the most Aryan cop to do the business too. Like, it's crazy, dude. It is crazy. I mean, as a German, the angle of the optics, I don't find it all that concerning. The act in and of itself, I find more concerning. No, the act in and of itself is, of course, infinitely more concerning. But like the optics, on the optics front, at least you should have a moment of self-reflection. Like, perhaps what I'm doing here spells something out to everyone that is not inside of Germany. You know what I mean? Like that's a crazy fucking thing to do. Okay? It's a crazy thing to do across the board. But like, Germans are so hopped up on their own like unconditional support to Israel's genocide that they just don't recognize that the rest of the world looks at that and goes like, excuse me, what do you mean you arrested, you had the blondest the blondest cop go into the Palestine Congress and arrest the Jewish protester. Like, you have to have a moment of self-awareness here. Anytime the Germans start arresting Jews, you got to give that a double take. Exactly, bro. What the fuck? Do you have any idea why Germany is anti-Palestine? Are you kidding me? I've talked about this extensively. Okay? I've talked about this extensively. Germany loves the current predicament Israel is in. Why? Because, one, obviously there is a level of guilt, a collective guilt for the Holocaust, where they're like, oh, it was ein big oopsie. Okay? But beyond that, there's a second thing that is much better for them, which is this way you can turn around and be like, see, the Arabs are doing the Holocaust now. Obviously, politically, this works very well for German domestic politics because there is a shit ton of Islamophobia in domestic German politics. This way you get to tie this back to how all Arabs are anti-Semitic Jew haters, right? So then they can just basically say, oh, look at us, like we're defending the Jewish nation state. And also on top of that, any moment that you're talking about like how Arabs are the real anti-Semites now, you're not thinking about the Holocaust. Germans act like they understand the evils of the Holocaust more than leftist Jews. Is so funny. Yes, I've seen that. Is a take I thought was fake originally. Yeah, here, there's 4 main points that this chatter is very good at, okay? This chatter is describing it perfectly. 1, collective guilt for the Holocaust. 2, they move the target to someone else. 3, they're very Islamophobic, and the target that they're moving it towards is also, it happens to be like a Islamic target, so that works doubly well. 4, they don't want Juden in Europe, and no one can change my mind for the latter. I do agree with that as well. Also, weapon sales. Germany is, of course, militarizing at a rapid clip. Here is the Polizei breaking into the control room of the Palestine Congress to shut down the electricity and power supply. Our team at the scene reports that the shutting off of the organizers' live stream. Police went from person to person demanding they stop live streaming from their phones, and then they announced that they were shutting down the entire event, which had only been allowed to run for about 20 minutes. It was due to run for 3 days. Earlier in the day, police demanded that Congress organizers allow all German media into the Congress to safeguard free speech.
Hallo, hallo. Alles gut. Bitte auf, wir haben einen Schlüssel. Wollen Sie auch noch ein bisschen Abstand? Ja, natürlich. Ja, Sie sind auf einmal gekommen. Markus, danke für dich. Sie haben hier ganz laut und deutlich gesagt, dass Sie einen Schlüssel liegen.
Bro, I'm sorry. I look at this, I'm like, this is Nazi shit. I can't. Maybe I apologize to the Germans in the chat, but when I look at this, I'm like, this is some Gestapo shit. Like, this is straight up Gestapo shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? I can't unsee it. I've seen it too many times throughout history. It's like, what the fuck are they doing?
Angeblich Pressefreiheit in Deutschland und diese ganzen Journalisten da reingebracht. Was ist das für echt? Also, das ist so lustig, Leute.
Yeah, they were saying in the background that they have a key and they still broke into the server room. Oh, abi kanake denmeye hazırlanan Almanların Türkler için slur'ü kanake mi? Öyle mi diyorlar? Ne demek? Kanake ne? What is that? Apparently there's a slur that Germans have for Turks. Kanake? What does that mean? Subhuman? Kanake evet. Berlin mayor says, we have made it clear that the hatred of Israel has no place in Berlin. Anyone who does not abide by these rules will feel the consequence. Ich danke der Polizei Berlin für das entschlossene Einschreiten bei dieser Veranstaltung. Wir haben klar gemacht, welche Regeln in Berlin gelten. Wir haben klar gemacht, dass Israel-Hass in Berlin keinen Platz hat. Wer sich nicht daran hält, wird die Konsequenzen spüren. Ah! Such a beautiful language, German. It's just like, I would like to thank the Berlin police for its decisive intervention at this hate event. We have made it clear which rules apply in Berlin. We have made it clear that hatred of Israel has no place in Berlin. Anyone who does not abide by these rules will feel the consequences. A lot of you in the chat whose parents celebrated the fucking wall coming down may not be feeling like it was a great move, okay? Holy shit. Is a slur for all non-German. People use it also self-referential like the N-word by some black people. I cannot stress enough how incredibly frustrating it is that the conservatives are currently in power in Berlin, though I doubt it'd have made that much of a difference if the usual lefties were in power there, given our government's position. Yeah. The guy whose tweet you read is the acting mayor of Berlin, Kai Wegner. Kanake is a racist slur that Germans use against Südländer, mainly used against Turks and North Africans. Seyde diyorlar ne? Kanakensprache, language of the Kanaks. Dude, that's sick. They have like a new slur unlocked. Berliners get the best kebabs in the world, and what do they give in return? Yeah. W makes a V sound, so it's Wegner, which makes it funnier because crowds lol. Yeah. Anyway. That wasn't on your slur day calendar, bro. We do international slurs around these parts, okay? We're unlocking the new racist tomes to unlock new slurs. So, did you just admit Berlin kebabs are better than Turkish? Some of the Berlin kebabs I've had before are, if not as good, sometimes even better than the ones I've like Döner in Germany is very good. Very, very good. Like a shitty version of Döner in Turkey. It's the only place on the planet outside of Turkey where Döner is just as good, in some instances, maybe even better. Yok abi, no. It's good. Mustafa's Gemüse Döner that I had in Berlin was unironically a life-changing experience for me. It actually shocked me how good it was. I've had Döner. I love Döner. Okay? I love Döner. I love it. The best Döner in the world is still in Turkey. Okay? 100%. I believe that. However, Mustafa is hype only, to be honest. There's better ones. I remember having it. I remember having Mustafa's Gemüse Döner many years ago. And honestly, it was pretty fucking good. It was like the only place that I've had Döner outside of Turkey where I thought it matches. Abi deme sonra Döner Alman diyorlar vallahi. No, of course Döner is not German. Anyone who says that is fucking delusional. Anyway, it's like tacos. We all know Mexico has that on lock, but LA is second when it comes to tacos and shit. Yeah, I think so too. The word Döner is Turkish. How can these Germans think it's from Germany? I mean, what do you think? These people are delusional. Anyway. What is this? Here's the Berlin mayor whose statement you read with a known anti-Semite. Please check it out. Yeah, of course. Anyway, Germany defends itself at the International Court of Justice by saying that its foreign policy after the Holocaust is built around defending Israel rather than preventing mass atrocities. That's the wrong lesson to draw. There's just, I like that they're admitting it. All right, here is Ghassan Abusita giving an exclusive interview to Middle East Eye after he was barred entry into Germany, which, to be fair, I will say good riddance. I mean, no one should go there. Holy fuck, dude.
My name is Dr. Ghassan Abusita. I've just returned from Germany where I had been prevented from entering the country. for attending a conference in Germany to give evidence on the war in Gaza and my witness statement as a doctor working in its hospitals. So this morning at 10 o'clock, I landed in Berlin to attend a conference on Palestine, where I had been asked, along with many others in the UK, in the United States and in Europe, to give my evidence of the 43 days that I had seen in the hospitals in Gaza, working in both Shifa and Al Ahli Hospital. Upon arrival, I was stopped at the passport office. I was then escorted down to the basement of the airport, where I was questioned for around 3.5 hours. At the end of 3.5 hours, I was told that I will not be allowed to enter German soil, that that this ban will last the whole of April. And not just that, that if I were to try to link up by Zoom.
What allegations? I don't know, I made
or
that
FaceTime with the conference, even if I was outside Germany, or I were to send a video of my lecture to the conference in Berlin, then that would constitute a breach of German law, and that I would endanger myself to having a fine or even up to a year of prison. I then was asked at the end to book a flight back.
Someone seems pretty defensive, huh? Okay, you get 5 minutes off. The other guy got 30 seconds off, but you get 5 minutes off.
The UK. My passport was taken away from me, and then I only got my passport back as I was boarding the plane. As Germany is defending itself against the Nicaraguan charges that it is an accomplice to the genocidal war, as described by the International Court of Justice, this is exactly what accomplices to a crime do. They bury the evidence and they silence or harass or intimidate the witnesses. And so, as members of a gang that has committed a heinous crime, Germany is doing its bit in that crime, which is to ensure that there is complete impunity, and so that the genocide can continue uninterrupted. So the Jewish intellectual Hannah Arendt, in the first lecture that she gave in Germany in 19...
How is this legal? He's a British citizen? Bro, what do you mean, dude? It doesn't matter. Like, he's brown. He's Palestinian. Okay? He's defending Palestine. There are German Jews that they're arresting. Why wouldn't they fucking arrest? Why would they refuse entry to a British college dean / surgeon? I don't know why you won't say Germany's doing this because of Islamophobia. That's the main reason. Wait, what? I did say that. No, it's not just Islamophobia. There are broader societal reasons as to why Germany, it is Islamophobia for sure. It's like the major reason. It is playing a major role, but it's not just Islamophobia, even though I have mentioned that it is Islamophobia. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs, March 92.
1958, after the Second World War. She said, we humanize what is going on in the world and in ourselves by speaking of it. And in the course of speaking of it, we learn to be human. There is so much peril before us. To speak of it in earnest, to understand the causes and the alternative is to practice our humanity. And this crackdown on free speech is a dangerous precedent, because what is happening in Gaza is a dangerous precedent. We are watching the...
You're putting more emphasis on other things? Yes, because I think that weapon sales to Israel and also seemingly ridding them of the collective guilt of the Holocaust by changing the attention over, by shifting the attention over to Arabs and Muslims, which is Islamophobia for sure, is the major reason.
The first genocide unfold in the 21st century, and for Germany to become implicated as an accomplice in silencing the witnesses of this genocide does not bode well for the rest of the century.
There is no real guilt for the Holocaust as a fucking excuse they use to justify Israel's support. Guilt for the Holocaust would mean supporting Palestine. I mean, NB Ranger Danger, thank you for the 5 community gift the subs. A lot of our Jewish comrades here in Germany have been saying this for a while. Germany doesn't just want to defend Israel, they want to be Israel. Every day we see it more and more clearly. Yes, Yanis Varoufakis was supposed to talk at this event as well. And he didn't get to.
Es ist gut, dass die Berliner Polizei ein hartes Durchgreifen beim sogenannten Palästina-Kongress in Berlin angekündigt hat. Wir behalten die islamistische Szene sehr eng im Visier. It is good that the Berlin police have announced a tough crackdown on the so-called Palestine Congress in Berlin. We are keeping a very close eye on the Islamist scene, says Nancy Faeser. Wer islamistische Propaganda und Hass gegen Judinnen, Judinnen und Juden, wer bereit, muss wissen. Okay, dude, we have to do it again. There's a rule. Germans are not allowed to say Jew or Jewish, okay? When you say it, it's like it just triggers something in my brain, okay? I'm not even kidding. You should never be allowed to say those words, okay? You just use another language, use English, be like Jewish people, you know what I mean? When they say it, it just seems different, you know what I mean? Faeser is a big fan of surveillance too. Shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Judinnen und Juden, wer bereit muss wissen, dass das schnell und konsequent verfolgt wird. Wir brauchen ein sofortiges, hartes Einschreiten, wenn solche Straftaten begangen werden. So Ministerin FISA. Anyone who spreads Islamist propaganda and hatred against Juden must know that this will be prosecuted quickly and consistently. We need immediate tough action when such crimes are committed, said the minister, Faeser.
The actors in zone of interest were hitting it too hard. That's what I mean. That's what I mean, dude. Ay. You're yelling German so loud that people in the office probably think I'm a Nazi now. Thanks, bud. This German accent is frightening. Trust me, it's frightening to me too. Okay? Germany getting called out. Namibia rejects Germany's support for the genocidal intent of the racist Israeli state against innocent civilians in Gaza on Namibian soil. Yeah. Oh, Germany committed the first genocide of the 20th century. Yeah. Anyway. I love how your dog doesn't give a fuck about all those screams. Yes, she's knocked out, very tired. Anyway. But here are his words that he was slated to say at the Palestine Congress, which he was not allowed to. Now let's get back to the what happens if Israel goes to war with Iran. My own university has disinvited a Jewish American philosopher, Nancy Fraser, of taking up a professorship because she spoke out against the killings in Gaza. Absolutely shameful. Dude, I think people don't understand. The Western world doesn't give a fuck about Jews, okay? They care about Israel as a strategic entity. Like, that's why the broadest coalition of pro-Israel sentiment comes from the most rabid anti-Semites in this country, okay? Dudes who unironically think Jews have horns and tails and shit. The fucking white evangelicals in these goddamn mega churches in the South.
the broadest coalition of pro-Israel sentiment is not amongst the American Jews. It is evangelical Protestant Christians for theological reasons. Okay? Those motherfuckers don't like Jewish people. They're like, yeah, like the Balfour Declaration. They're like, yeah, let God sort them out over there in the fucking desert. I don't want to be around Jews. They have horns. Send them down to the desert. That's their fucking take. That's it. That is precisely why. Do Israelis know this? And do they care? No, they don't. I don't think they give a shit. I think many people don't know this, okay? There's a multitude of different reasons, okay? Most conservatives don't like Jews. They just hate Muslims more. There's that, okay? Obviously, they hate Muslims more than they hate Jewish people, so there's that. That's a big role as well. Some see it as a bulwark, like some see Israel as like the only power to like combat the Islamic hordes. And many also have a Armageddon theological justification for Israel's existence. They believe that once the chosen sons and daughters of God occupy Israel permanently, that the Armageddon will happen. The rapture will happen. Jesus Christ will come back. The second coming will happen. And Jesus will fight the devil in Megiddo. It sounds fucking insane, like it's a goddamn anime when I repeat myself, but that is the real reason. And there are tens of millions of these people that genuinely believe this. It sounds so fucking stupid. And you know what happens to the Jews in that process when the rapture happens? They also burn in hell, unless they convert to evangelical Christianity, of course. So it's not like these guys are, fond of Jewish people at all. So let's watch First Thought. What happens if Israel goes to war with Iran?
Israel has become the second country in history to use nuclear weapons in war, and the first to do so as an initial preemptive strike. The target? Iran. Most of Tehran, its greater metro area, and even its suburbs have been vaporized or reduced to smoldering rubble.
Obviously, they're saying this is what would happen if Israel used nukes as they... Müslüman değilim ama Batı'nın İslam düşmanlığı 3. Dünya Savaşı başlayacak, evet.
Millions are dead, millions more are being exposed to lethal doses of radiation, and still more are suffering life-threatening burns. Israel's only remaining ally, the United States, continues to stand by Israel's preemptive nuclear strike. The US has warned Iran that any retaliation will be met with, in the president's words, overwhelming response, and that the US will, quote, turn the country into glass. We may be looking at nuclear winter as Israel continues to lash out. Okay, obviously this isn't happening right now, at time of recording. But this scenario isn't as far-fetched as you might think. A 2013 study set out to understand the medical consequences of a nuclear exchange between Iran and Israel in the near future, with a focus on the distribution of casualties in urban environments. Academics have been taking this scenario seriously for over a decade.
Oh shit, new IDF tweet. Approximately 40 launches were identified crossing the Lebanese territory, some of which were intercepted. The IDF aerial defense array successfully intercepted 2 Hezbollah explosive UAVs that crossed from Lebanon into Israeli territory earlier this evening. I mean, this is earlier in the day, but I don't know if, that's from Hezbollah. That's different. It's not direct from Iran.
And as the genocide in Gaza continues, it's now abundantly clear that Israel is the nation most likely to initiate a full-scale nuclear or conventional war in the region. Let's explore the consequences of a war between Israel, Iran, and their respective allies. Before we answer that, we'd like to take a quick moment to thank this episode's sponsor, Aura. As you all know, we make political content here and on our other channels. Unfortunately, that means some people don't like us very much. These days, a quick Google search is all it takes to find someone's personal information. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target you. Your full name, email, home address, health records, your relatives, it's all readily available for those who want to find it. That's why I've been using Aura to help keep my private details private. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. This not only cuts down on the amount of spam I get, but also helps keep all my accounts safe from bad actors. And Aura does so much more. It's a VPN, a password manager, an antivirus. It even offers identity theft insurance and parental controls. And the best part is, it's all in one place and very reasonably priced. So if you're like me and you value your privacy and staying safe online, visit aura.com/firstthought and get your first 2 weeks absolutely free, no strings attached. Try it out, and I promise you'll appreciate the peace of mind. Support the show and protect your valuable data by signing up today at the link below.
Ethical reacts, bro. Ethical reacts imply we watch the fucking ads, and you don't have to watch the ads at the top of the hour when there are 3-minute ad breaks that happen at the top of the hour. Okay? That's right, because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break right after this ad break. Freaking got them. And if you no longer want to have the moment to self-reflect, to read, to watch ads for 3 minutes, and you want an uninterrupted broadcast experience, Flucky, thank you for the 10 community gifted subs. You can maybe receive an ad, a gifted ad break defender in the form of a subscription from the likes of Flucky and many others. Or if you're not lucky enough, you can make your own luck by subscribing for $5 or for free. Here is the 3-minute ad break now.
It's not just
You said you'd still stream if nukes were flying. Are you still up for that with us? Yes. Yes, I will spend most likely my very last moments, unless my internet is shut down by my fucking stupid ass ISP. If nuclear holocaust was happening, I'd probably spend the last moments here doing this. And many of you would be watching. Can we do unban all? Yeah.
Damn, this guy's good.